and welcome back to the Colour Cave, where we like to play with art stuff. My name is Jem and this is Upcrate 42, and the Upcrate is the monthly art subscription box from Germany. And inside here are a selection of supplies, a featured artist, and a prompt for us to use our supplies to create something exciting. There is also a little magazine in here to give us some inspiration, tips, and just generally fuel our creative juices. So let's have a wee look and see what's what. Ooh. Our featured artist is Catwalk, and we all know who this is. Very prolific YouTuber, very popular, love her art style, so good. This has been done on watercolour paper. I can actually see the texture, you know, like in the print, so that is interesting. Artist of the month, my name is Marie. You might know me as Catwalk. I'm from Sweden, where I live with my 2 cats and my fiance. So here we can see her cats obviously influence her work quite considerably, and this is lovely. I really like this, it's good. And the stickers are super cute too, look. Oh, yeah. Love it. Okay, the surface we have to work on is the Gold Line Aqua Pad, and Gold Line is by Clairefontaine, so highly reputable company. Oh, I've got a special message on here. I'm assuming this is a quality check slip. Come on. So this is A5 300 GSM cold pressed paper. Good texture on it for a cold press. I've had this paper before, it's quite reliable. Definitely not at the top end of the watercolour paper scale, but perfectly respectable and good quality and value as well. So we've got that. Here's our bottle post. This is our magazine. Look at the front of that, it's so freaking cute. I love this. So information on the supplies and everything is in here, but of course we want to take a look at it because that's more fun. 42. Oh man. Okay, we have got an Upcrate travel brush. Oh, this looks super cute. Let's get this out of here. Ah! Little travel paintbrush. Oh, that's nice. That is a nice brush. I like this sort of inversion of the wood and the metal. Normally we would expect that to be, you know, if it was a traditional paintbrush, this would be wooden all the way, and the metal bit would just be the ferrule. This is nice. This is very heavily gummed, so I'll have to wash that off before we get going. But yeah, this is nice. That is nice. That feels nice. It'll be interesting to see how it works on the paper. We also have here a Maped Colour Peps green pencil by the looks of it, and it looks like it's erasable as well because there is an eraser on the end. I've never seen one of these before. Art liner by Spectrum Noir, so I'm assuming that this is it's a black 0.5 fine liner, so that's quite a chunky fine liner in the grand scheme of things. Come on, autofocus. There we go. So yeah, quite nice. Feels quite cheap. This is a theme with Spectrum Noir. For me especially, I don't like the feel of cheap things, and their pencils feel a bit cheap as well. However, their metallic markers were absolutely fabulous. So yeah, we'll test that out too. Good stuff. And finally, we have we have the Viviva watercolour sheets, and this is the spring set. We have had a set of these before in a scroller box. I quite like these because they were vibrant, but I find them, as someone who doesn't travel and paint when I travel, this really doesn't do anything for me. But they're very, very nice colours, and they're very nice to use as well. So once we've created an artwork with these for the Upcrate battle, I will pop these into the stash shop for someone to take advantage of. Right, let's get a look at this bottle post, see what we can learn about these supplies. This is lovely. I love the fact that this is the cover. Okay, so hopefully they haven't messed about with the format again this month, but I do like this. We're straight into the supplies. So they're talking about the Viviva colour sheets, and this is the spring colours. Recommended retail price is €23. 16 super vibrant spring colours. Basically you just wet them and but they've got like a little mixing palette sheet as well that you can wipe clean, so they are really good. Small yet packs a punch. This little packet of joy contains 16 ultra pigmented colours that are rich and vibrant. You'll swear they're alive. Yeah, these aren't traditional watercolour, which gives them their vibrancy. I don't think that these are light fast. I don't know that for sure. Why Viviva? They're watercolours, yes, but unlike anything you've seen before, they're designed with just one purpose: make something convenient, and chances are you'll do a lot more. Viviva colour sheets. I don't know why I have such a problem saying that. Viviva colour sheets are watercolours reimagined for the modern day schedule. They're fun, crazy, vibrant, and ridiculously convenient. They are really good for that, and if I was a person that was out and about, I probably would use them for that. Okay, the Colour Peps pencils. Bright, fun way to colour, triangular shaped pencils. 3mm leads are break resistant, soft enough for detailed shading. They can be sharpened in all standard pencil sharpeners. A colour to pre-draw in your box. Okay, so I think everyone's getting a different colour. The art liner, professional, smooth and precise line every time. A reliable, good quality fine liner is an essential staple in any artist's toolkit. Yep. It's fully waterproof, marker proof and dries almost instantly. Can be worked over immediately and always stay put without smudging. Obviously, because we're going to be working with wet media, that's really, really important. So a quick drying fine liner is a good idea in this circumstance. So I'm glad that they've thought about that. They have actually put some thought into it and not just chucked in any old fine liner that's kicking about. The brush, okay, travel brush size 2. This high quality travel brush, and it really does feel like a high quality brush. Okay, artists' convenience of a portable brush that fits in their pocket, saves space, protects the fine hairs on the brush, yes, okay. The Aquapad, a paper with medium fine grain dedicated to wet techniques to answer student expectations and those who are searching for good value for money product. That's pretty much what I said, wasn't it? I'm glad that I'm accurate here. Cellulose off-white paper. The grain is stronger on one side and almost smooth on the back, sized internally and on the surface to stand wet technique watercolour requirements. Okay, they've duplicated their paragraphs again. They're really going to have to get someone to proofread their magazines. They literally, so they've obviously copy and pasted that, and half of the, 90% of the paragraphs have been printed twice. They really need to address that. Okay, moving on. So here we are. Here she is. The lady in question. There's quite a nice chunk of reading there as well. I like that a lot. That's good. Something to get your teeth into. And see this as well, like, who designed it? Considering this is supposed to be done by creatives, the word interview, the R is over here and you can't see it because it's against a purple picture. And like, this is terrible in terms of layout. This is awful. This is really, really bad. Thankfully the content is good, and they've got this little kind of, like question and answer part and showcasing some of her work as well. This is absolutely gorgeous. This is lovely. I really like this. Super cute. Dance into the spring. So Captain Crate's dancing us into the spring. That's a bit random for middle page, but okay. And the interview continues. Look at her stickers. This is so cute. So cute. Very nice indeed. So now we have tips and tricks for working with the things in the box. So there is the QR video for the how-to. And Kat Valk herself says, don't go in too hard from the beginning. It is easier to raise lighter lines if you like to change anything in your sketch. And she used watercolour for adding outlines and the art liner for eyes and additional details. Well, that's kind of standard stuff. Okay, we have a Sailor of the Month as well, Carrie Creative. A look at her illustrations. These are freaking adorable. That is so nice. So like a little frog sitting there admiring these little flies around him. That's really tickled me. This is lovely. I'll be reading about that. That's very nice. And here is Emily. And she's telling you about her experience with the products in the box, okay? So she is actually like describing and talking about, she's kind of like reviewing the product. I hope she's still done her little colour wheel. Yeah, she has. Good. This is my favourite part. I love this. Look at her little creatures as well. That is absolutely freaking adorable. And she's even got the fine liner down in this bottom corner. But you can see how vibrant these colours are. Like, we're talking like ding, 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 ding. Really, there's a lot going on here. I'm kind of getting the feeling that the Upcrate battle might be spring related. That's the kind of feeling I'm getting here, just because of obviously the colours themselves and the things that are in this magazine. This is lovely. And here's some of the entries for Tomorrow We Are Unstoppable. So this is from the December box. And this is lovely. This is really good. So brave with the gold leaf. I'm still finding bits of it everywhere. And yeah, there's some really nice stuff going on there. This is stunning. This is a really, really good use of those pens. So these are the Spectrum Noir metallic markers I was talking about. They're really nice, and obviously they pop up beautifully on black paper. Highly recommend. Highly recommend. And here is New Year, new ... And here are some of the entries. I never got round to this one just because I've been a little bit absent for the last wee while. I really like the supplies though. I like the simplistic sort of approach to these things. And these are absolutely delightful. This is super, super cute. Like, really, really cute. I don't really want to sit here and like keep picking out all these like really petty things. Nobody is proofreading this. Some of the words aren't even in English, and this is supposed to be the English version. They're not changing everything over properly, and there's letters missing off the ends of stuff as well. Like, it's kind of annoying actually. It's starting to irritate me slightly. I'm glad to see at least they've left the format of the magazine alone, and it's nice to be able to see these these as well. So that is it, and our Upcrate battle is Life Wakes Up. So yeah, like almost like a spring suggestion of a spring prompt maybe. It's getting brighter again, it's getting more colourful, life is awakening, spring is coming. Not only on paper do colours bring joy into our lives, spring also brings back the colours. We want to celebrate that with the watercolour spring set. We want to bring the beauty of nature and life on paper, if the weather allows it of course, also gladly outside in the green or at your favourite place. We are excited about the interpretations of life and the departure of spring. No, the arrival of spring, not the departure of spring. Departure's when it goes away. I give Upcrate a bit of a pass on stuff like this. I don't expect spellings to be correct 100% of the time, because this is primarily written in German and it's translated into English, and nobody's going to mind if there's a spelling mistake here and there, but the entire magazine is riddled with errors, so somebody really needs to address that. But in saying that, it's not imperative. It still puts across the information that we need. It's still very enjoyable to read. It just comes across as slightly cobbled together, slightly rushed, and slightly unprofessional as well. So I would say that, I would probably say I'm actually being quite harsh in my judgment of that, but it's something that I personally don't like, because the price of these boxes keep going up and up, and I am perfectly happy to pay what it is they want, but I expect a finished and well-rounded professional product, because I am paying for a service, and when you're paying for something, something should be professional. Just my 2 cents on that. We'll test out these supplies and then we'll get to work and see if we can come up with something for the Upcrate battle and Life Wakes Up. Okay, so I'm going to do a really quick swatch out of these products here. So I'm going to start with this green pencil, which I imagine it's going to feel quite rough on this paper. Yeah, you can tell this is a kid's pencil. It feels quite hard under my hand here. It's not a particularly soft lead. However, I'm quite happy that it's a green one I've got, and I'm sure I'll be able to do something with this for the Upcrate battle. It's not that uncomfortable to hold either. Let's see what the erasing's like. Oh, that's pretty good, look. That's, okay, that's gone up in my estimation quite considerably, because you can properly erase green pencil with the eraser that is on the end of the pencil, so that's a really good start. Really happy with that. I've got the art liner here by Spectrum Noir. Nice ink flow. I don't think I've had a Spectrum Noir fine liner before. I've had pretty much every fine liner going, but I don't think I've had a Spectrum Noir one. We can colour in pretty well. Now, bearing in mind that this paper's pretty textured, that's going over that like a boss. Okay. And I like to use these sort of broken, even when I'm using a fine liner, I use like a sketchy, like broken line type style. So it's important that quick, sharp and broken movements with the hand, that a fine liner is able to cope with that. For me, like, that's an important thing for me basically. So yeah, that's good. I'm really happy with that as well. Really like that. Good job. Now on to the Viva watercolours. Now we've got 16 colours to test out, so I'm going to make this fairly quick. So I've got this big Raven brush here, so make this as quick as possible. So there's this sheet in between the sheets, which it basically just stops the paint transferring from one swatch to the other. They don't always look the way they look on the palette here. So this, by example, if I pick up a bit of this Vivid Red, you can see it's a lot more vermillion-y in real life than it is on the actual swatch. So yeah, let's just quickly swatch all these out. These are super pigmented. So one thing I will say is, if you're using a very absorbent paintbrush, you know, if you're using real hair or something like this Raven brush, like this mop brush, you will have to get a bit of work on the go to get rid of that pigment. But you see what I mean, like these are super, super vibrant. You are supposed to let these dry in between. So what I'll do is I'll just speed this part up, because I'm going to have to leave these to dry before I go on to the next one. So I'll speed this up so that you can see them all and we don't have to do the waiting bit in between. If you put it down on the paper, if you let that dry for even a split second, you are not going to be able to work it out on the paper as much as you can with traditional watercolours. So reworking once they're dry just becomes a bit more of a chore. I'm not saying it can't be done, it can be done, but it's a lot harder work. I mean, you can still see that line there, and I literally put that on the paper and then started working with it. So that's something to be aware of as well. It is the case for most inks or colours that are pigment based. So just to be aware of it. So again, we'll try it again here. I know I said I was going to speed this section up. Okay, that was a bit easier. Got to it fairly quick though. But this part's dry at the top here now, so you can see I'm brushing away at that, and it's kind of reluctant to move. I can get it to do it, but it's much harder work than it would be with traditional watercolour. So just to make you aware of that. Okay, this colour down here was saffron. That was quite nice. Okay, let's move on. So these colours here are saying it's metallic red and metallic baby pink. I don't know if they've maybe got a bit of shimmer in them or whether, yeah, they do. Okay, so we're going to have to work these ones a bit more. I can't believe we're getting metallic colour. This is a really well-rounded palette, I have to say. We could, there's no black though, but we can mix everything together to get a very dark shade, especially using this brown colour here. I was a bit disappointed in this. This is supposed to be olive green. It looks brown to me, but never mind. I was hoping, so these are all metallic colours. I don't know how I feel about that in this palette. Oh, that's really offensive. Wow. All right then. You can see what they were saying about the vibrancy of these paints, etc. Like, there's a lot going on there. Yeah, okay. I quite like this blue colour here. This is nice. The indigo blue is actually purple. So there's a bit of an inaccuracy, I feel, with the colour names that they've used. Happy Yellow is my absolute favourite. But I think we can put these to good use in terms of the prompt, which we've established is Life Wakes Up. The last thing I want to do is just test this little brush here. I had to do a lot of work to get rid of the transit gum there. That was absolutely rock solid. So if you haven't done yours already, be very careful when you're doing it. I like the firmness of the bristles. Look how fine a line we're going to get with this. Oh, that's nice. This is a nice brush. This is a very high quality travel brush. I just want to see how we do with, I want to go back to that olive green colour that wasn't olive, wherever it is. Olive green, down here. I want to see if we can cover... Okay, so we can cover a larger area, obviously, but we're going to struggle a bit. That is not green. There is not a hint of green in there. That is brown. It's definitely brown. Okay, that's a shame. But we'll mix some colours, because I feel that these greens are very stark. They're not... which is fine. If you're going for an illustrative style, that's great. And I would say that these types of colour sheets, paints, whatever you want to call them, definitely lend themselves more to that kind of thing. And I think that's probably the route I'm going to take with the Upcrate battle. So yeah, so far so good. Really happy with these. See, I've used them before. So let's get down to the actual Upcrate battle and see what we can do. Alright, so I've had an idea of what I want to do here now that we've tested everything out. I really like this paintbrush. I think this is probably my favourite thing in this particular box. Yeah, so for some weird reason I've kind of got a little bit of a fixation with squirrels just now. And yeah, so we're going to incorporate that into our Upcrate battle, which is, of course, Life Wakes Up. Now, it would probably make more sense to have chosen an animal that hibernates, but as I say, I just got a thing for squirrels just now, don't ask. A sleepy squirrel, but with embellishments. That's the kind of the plan. So I'm just going to get started here. This is just an F pencil. I am allowing myself, although this green pencil is erasable, I would rather just use a graphite pencil. The reason I'm putting his head so far down is because we've got to incorporate his tail. So I want there to be space for that above his head, because he's going to have a dirty, great big bushy tail. Oh, yeah, like, oh my goodness, I've just woken up. And I suppose we'll see some teeth as well, eh? And we're going to give him massive bags under his eyes, because that would make him look tired, wouldn't it? I wonder what happens when you type in squirrel ears into Google. Let's find out, shall we? Oh, okay, that's weird. Apparently when you type in squirrel ears into Google, it gives you fancy dress hair bands. Oh, really? That's kind of creepy, look. That's creepy. Okay, yes, no, thank you. Actual squirrels, please. Yeah, they've all got really hairy, pointy... I know red squirrels do. We're in a part of the world where we have a nice population of red squirrels, and they are a thing, and we like to look after them. Oh, he's got little round ears. Mid-Wales red squirrel partnership. Oh, this little dude doesn't have hair. See, this is kind of what I was thinking. So, like, I hope you can see that on there, but much rounder at the top. Yeah, okay, right. I just wanted to make sure that was actually... that was actually a thing. It is actually a thing, that's fine. Okay, so I'm quite happy with little round ears. I don't think he's going to be a particularly porky squirrel. Well, that looks wrong. So if we, I actually find it easier to tilt the paper when I'm doing stuff like this. So his head's actually going to be slightly this way, and then this side's going to be down. So his mouth's maybe going to be there instead. And the start of my log here. Okay, what I want to do now that I've got this basic design down is, it's very rough, I'm not finished, but I'll refine it a little bit more. I want to take this paper off this pad. When I took the swatch sheet off, it took half the cover with it, so I'm hoping that that's going to be a bit more sensible this time. Alright, okay, so I've taped this down. This is an old craft mat. Some of you will recognise this as a relic from the old cave. And I've just used a bit of washi tape. I have kept the overlap of tape to the paper as slim as I can because I'm actually going to put a border in here. So obviously I don't want a great big thick white border because it's going to cut into the actual picture too much. So that is like the skinniest and stingiest of, like, literally just enough so it's holding the paper down. Right, okay, so the next thing that we're going to do, well, the first thing that we're going to do, I suppose, in terms of painting, is we are going to do this background, and we're going to let that dry. So there isn't really a good place to stop here, but what I am going to do is I'm going to wet the paper. Now, this obviously would be easier with a bigger brush. Happy yellow! Now, a little bit of this goes a long way, so let's just see. I'm obviously going round the outline of my squirrel. I've not got any water on the inside there. You can use masking fluid if you are well versed and you like that kind of stuff. I can't stand this stuff and I would rather avoid using it if possible because it's messy and I don't like the smell. Okay, so let's put in a little bit more happy yellow down here. I say I'm quite confident in the paper, like I know I can keep adding water to this paper and it's going to be like, yeah, whatever. I use it, again, use that as a tool. I tell you what I do need to do, I need to fix these cheek tufts before we go painting on this side. It's okay on this side because they're covered by the tail. I have vowed this year, if the weather isn't too extreme in the summer, I have vowed to do a bit more painting outside. There was just absolutely no chance last summer. It was far, far too warm, and the paint was, I couldn't keep paint wet outside. Even in the shade, it wasn't very clever. The problem is as well, where we are, we get a bit of a breeze, and it was like someone had a hairdryer on, so that was like drying things out quicker as well. And it's just our location, because we're rural, we're at the top of a hill, surrounded by higher hills. It's not ideal really. Right, let's get some more happy yellow on the go. I think I want a wee bit more yellow. I'm just trying to look at this side, and this side, obviously this side is dry and this isn't. It's starting to look a bit like the fiery pits of Hades, which is not the look I was going for at all. So let's try and soften this out. Oh, I'll bring it up a little bit more. Yeah. Okay, right. I'll take that, sort of. Okay, right, I'm going to leave that to dry now, like really, really dry, and we'll get on with a little bit more painting once that's at a point where I'm not going to be worried about sticking my hand in it. Alright, so we're nice and dry now, and what I'm doing here is I'm taking some of this saffron colour and I'm going to add a tiny bit of this tree bark brown. I want to create a reddish brown colour for our little squirrely friend here, but it needs to be, there needs to be enough contrast for it to stand out against this little bit of orange in the background. So we're using the tree bark brown to make that much deeper, so we're avoiding that sea of mid-tones that I talk about, because we do want some sort of depth. The good thing about the situation we're in here is that we have the addition of the fine liner, so we can actually put in some shading with the fine liner, we can do some hatching, whatever. So I'm just going to suck this up. This is just like a disposable pipette. You can, I steal these from work, from a proper job. But you can buy them cheaply in packs off Amazon. They're not expensive, and they're great for just basically just moving stuff about. So let's start to add a little bit of this colour in here, because this is going to be the tip of his tail here. I've just noticed as well, my squirrel's got a really thick neck. Like this, well, this is not far enough over for a start, but that should be like there. Okay, so the other area that's going to be this colour are his arms, and his little hands. So I'll do this one first, give that other side time to dry off a bit. Oh, that's a dangerous game I was playing there. I wouldn't advise that. Okay, yeah, even I'm just really wanting to get the base colour down here. It's like, okay, I'm not sure how this is going to look, so I'm going to try it out. So just ignoring the chipmunk ears for a minute. See, I kind of want his chin to have a little bit of something there. Okay. Okay, so now that I'm actually using the dirty water that's here, it looks remarkably like a watered down Jack Daniels and Coke. I'm going to create this slightly off colour for the paler parts of the body here. Okay, so now we need... I really don't have an olive green. It says we've got an olive green, but we don't really. All our greens are offensive or metallic, which I don't want either. So, I am going to take the lemongrass. I don't even know if that's the best idea. I think probably the other foliage green. Foliage green, that's probably a better idea. I'm going to grab some foliage green. Yeah, that's horrendous. And I'm going to add, again, a little bit of this tree bark brown in. Isn't it interesting that the tree bark brown is kind of what's saving us right now? So let's grab the tree bark brown on its own, first of all. So this is quite watered down now. And just dip into this green colour that we've created. So we'll tidy up these edges with the fine liner, it's not too much of an issue. So this foliage green is quite nice mixed in with a bit of our tree bark brown. Like, we're getting to what I would have hoped an olive green would have looked like down here. I tell you what I do feel that the absolute need to do. I feel as if there should be a twig coming off here. I don't know why I felt that was absolutely necessary, but I just did. Now, the good thing as well is we were told that this art liner by Spectrum Noir dries very quickly. So when we start working away, we can actually paint over the top of it, and it's not going to pull the ink away, which is really nice, because I'm kind of tempted now to start defining certain areas. And the nose, because I've had a little bit of bleed on the nose there, that's kind of one of the places I want to start. In his mouth. He's a tired little man. So sleepy. So I kind of want him to have like quite a kind of like tufty outline here, and I have done it in places with the paint to make it a bit easier for myself, like here. So now I'm just going to add a little bit of the orange, the saffron colour down the bottom here. Just want to wet this whole area. I am trying my hardest to avoid this little twig here. I really enjoy watching how these types of paints dry, because I tend to find they don't dry at all the way I expect them to. Yeah, I'm going to let that dry. There is going to be a highlight here. But that's pretty scrappy. We'll fix that up a bit, that'll be fine. I'm quite happy with how my orange has dried down the bottom. It kind of looks as if we've got some sort of gradient there, which is really nice as well. Okay, what I'm going to do now is start on the border. I've still got a bit of work to do here, but I just want to leave that to kind of settle down a little bit. And I'm going to employ my green pencil here. I am going to start by adding a vine pattern all the way around. We're a bit damp down the bottom here yet to put the border down the bottom. This is just a guideline basically. I am going to go in with the other greens. Now unfortunately the pencil is almost identical to the colour of this paint. So any ideas I had about using that to shade some of these leaves, if I do a really pale one like that, I might be able to utilise it, but I'm not particularly sure that's going to be a thing. So I find that really helpful as someone with an unsteady hand. If I have a guideline in pencil, it just gives me a little bit more confidence to go with the old wobbly hand. So I'm making sure that my paint's really concentrated down here. I want it to be a lot darker. Number one, so that it shows up over our log here, which we're still going to do a little bit more work on. but also to match the gradient, because the further up we get, the lighter it gets. We have an indigo colour somewhere. Yeah, midnight blue is the one. So again, kind of like what I've just done with the green round the outside, I want to get a really concentrated batch of this, because this is what I'm going to use for my shadow colour in here. You can see that is almost black. I'll just spread that out a wee bit. And we can mix this in with the green and the tree bark brown that we were using before. Okay, so the next step is to super water this down. I'm going to pop a little bit of this under here in this paler fur. There's actually going to be quite a lot of shadow going on there because he's got his hand up at his eye. So we'll try and add that in as well. Now I'm hoping that this is going to be subtle enough that it's not going to take away too much from what's going on. And then I just want to add in a few like tiny tickles. See just where I've put this texture. And then a line under here as well to show that there's a curvature there. We also need to name this squirrel. Suggestions down in the comments, please. I've got a feeling it's a boy. Now that we've kind of dealt with this, let's get on with the border. What I want to do is I want to put some buds in here. Yeah, that's created a resist because it's wax based, which is also a problem. Right, we're just going to add in a few more sections here. So we've got the idea on this bottom section here that there's activity, there's movement, there's growth, but it's not maybe, you know, it's in its infancy. That's really what I was looking for there. Yes, in infancy. And then at the opposite end of the scale, at the very top here, we're going to have outrageously pink flowers. So these really, really offensive pink colours that we were talking about. So we're adding in these flowers on the top here, and I'm just going to continue to fill in this top section with these two colours. Okay, so I'm working away now. So you can see I've got buds here, and then I've got a sort of emergence stage where the petals are starting to come out, and then the actual flowers at the top. So that was kind of to be in keeping with the, you know, with this sort of awakening of spring theme. And I'm just adding the green touches here and busying up these vines a little bit. Which is a really fun part because I'm just making up shapes as I go here. As long as it looks busy and as if things are coming to fruition, that's all that really matters here. Okay, I think I'm going to call it done at that, guys. I'm quite happy with this. I'm really glad I got to draw my little squirrel. I don't even know where to put my signature because I'll squeeze it in somewhere. You know what, I might sign this one on the back. I might not ruin this. Yeah, so what do we think of the box? Obviously love to hear your thoughts on that. I think this has been a very good box. I'm glad I had a green pencil. I feel sorry for anyone that didn't get a green pencil, but I ended up not really using it. The Viviva, here we go, I can't predict. The Viviva watercolour sheets, I think they're great. I mean, look at the vibrancy of this orange, which is a colour I don't particularly like. I think they're great. They mix really well. They behave really well for ultra pigmented paints. And I think the concept is good. It's just that for me, I don't really go anywhere, and when I do, I wouldn't take something like this. I've got a little Diddy palette that I would take with me, but this is going to be really handy for someone. I am going to put these in the stash shop, so you can check that out. They will be up there in the next couple of hours, so you'll just have to check and see when they go up. I will be selling them obviously at a bargain price. They are now a used item to create our little dude here. Also, if you want to name this little guy, you can let me know in the comments too. So all comments welcome. The standout star of this box for me though is definitely this travel brush, and despite not doing much travelling, I am absolutely keeping this brush. It's a really, really nice, well built brush, and you can't often say that about travel brushes, so really impressed with that. So that's it for today, guys. Thank you very much for watching, and apologies for the lateness of this. I've just been having a few issues, as some of you know, but I will see you back in the cave on Sunday for another video. So have a great day everyone, and bye bye for now.